Hi everyone, thanks for joining me for today's video. Today I thought we would do a little sketchbook tour. This is a classic Moleskine drawing sketchbook. This is the large size, although it's very tiny to me. I originally dedicated this sketchbook for Inktober back when I first started the sketchbook, which was in October 2019. However, I honestly really struggled drawing so small, so I abandoned the sketchbook and moved on to another one. But I challenged myself in June, July, in 2021 to finish the rest of this sketchbook within around a month. So I did a few drawings in May around Mermaid. I did a couple trying to basically force myself to finish this sketchbook, and by the end of it I actually found I really liked it, so I would actually buy another one of these. So despite it being small, I think maybe I got used to it, so I guess it just goes to show that sometimes by setting yourself challenges, forcing yourself to work through the things that you don't like, ultimately you can come to like them in the end. So a little bit about some of the drawings here. This one is a little drawing done with gouache from Stranger Things. It's the Mind Flayer from season 2. I wanted to draw that for ages and finally got around to it. Some of these drawings, like the one on the right, was from Inktober 2019, but the one on the left was just filling it up from 2021, like this little pear sketch that was done in coloured pencils. This little landscape is done with gouache. I drew this from a photo I took going for a walk. Just thought it was a really nice little scene to paint. I actually stuck these pages together because this little mermaid was a mixed media piece that I used Copic markers on, and the Copics bled through to the back. I also used some watercolour and some gouache and some paint pens. So basically I've stuck in a few little prints here and there just to cover up any alcohol marker bleed through, which I did have quite a bit because I was using markers a little bit in this sketchbook. So we've just got little figure studies and my little mermaid prints. This here is Bailey Sarian. I turned her into a mermaid as part of my mermaid challenge this year, 2021. I did a few little ink doodles, little floral ones. I found I was really falling back in love with doing line work, which I kind of haven't really in the past. These were the original little sketches of the mermaids that I did for these prints back here. So my little sort of seer type mermaid, and this little purple pin-up mermaid. So those ones I used alcohol markers on to colour those. I found the red pencil was okay with some of these sketches, and these coloured pencils, they look a bit flat because I was only really using a couple of colours. And these next couple of sketches I'm really not that fond of, but I was determined to fill this sketchbook up in the month that I'd set for myself. I wanted to finish this sketchbook in around a month, and I was also really unwell at the time, so some of the drawings are just better than others. I was quite happy with these little rainbow leaves and these little hummingbird studies. I used some watercolour on the right here, a little gold. If you've watched any of my videos before, you know I have a bit of an obsession with that. Some more little coloured pencil studies. I really like this little cactus. The graphite was really nice to work with in this sketchbook. Some more little flower studies. Those ones I used water-based markers on those ones actually. And then I've done some alcohol-based markers. These were the Ohuhu markers. I honestly was just enjoying the heck out of drawing with liners and alcohol markers again, just kind of getting back to that. The more I was doing, the more I was really enjoying myself in this sketchbook, so I think that's why ultimately I sort of came to love it in the end. As you can see, the line work obsession continues, which is weird because I never really did that. I always really struggled with that. This little flamingo here is done with gouache. I didn't prep the paper with anything, I just painted the gouache and this sketchbook held up very well. I was very impressed with how well it did. These fruit studies were done with water-based markers. I also didn't prep the paper for these, but I did find with these birds, I prepped the paper with some watercolor ground first, and they worked a lot nicer, being able to blend out with water. They worked much nicer. Here we've just got some more line work studies, some flowers, and then some little graphite and coloured pencil studies of some foxes. I found those were extremely difficult and challenging to draw. I really need to try and do that a bit more. That sketch there is of Billie Eilish, and I actually did that entire thing with just a mechanical pencil. That was kind of another thing I did, was going back to basics, just using graphite and mechanical pencils, like this little sketch of David Mitchell here and Jimmy Carr. I was very happy with those two, how they came out. Poor Richard Ayoade here, I didn't really capture his face as good as I wanted it to. I was happier with Noel Fielding here. This little cockatoo was done with coloured pencils, just filling in some of those empty spaces in my sketchbook. I was very happy with this one. I used mixed media for this, alcohol markers, pan pastels and coloured pencils. I was quite happy with that, especially that branch with the leaves. That was a lot of fun. I stuck in my little digital painting of the Witcher print just to cover up the alcohol markers. Again, back to the line work. This painting here was done with Distress Oxide inks. They're ink pads, and I do a few more in this book as well. This one here was done with gouache and coloured pencils. I did use watercolour ground on this to prep the paper. It adds a nice little texture as well. Back to those Distress Oxide inks here. So I fill the page using the oxide inks, blending out with a blending sponge, and then for the line work of the flowers and these little bird silhouettes, I just went in with some fine liners. We're coming to the end of the sketchbook here. The back of my sketchbook I often reserve for scribble tests, just testing out all my different supplies to see what's going to work and what isn't. And then I've just filled up the empty pages just with some studies and some floral doodles here and some coloured pencil in the background. Anyway, that's it for this sketchbook. I hope you've enjoyed. It was a quick little tour today. If you want to see more content from me, I would love it if you would hit like and subscribe. But otherwise, enjoy your creating. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!